The problems that we have today stem from a variety of things. Social injustices, parents struggling to find time to build on the relationship that they have with their children, lack of role models, social media influences, young people dealing with the pressures of drugs and alcohol, people unsure if there's even anything left to believe in, hopelessness. That's why Be Strong is here.
Having been a father myself, there's been countless times, kids are, teenagers just being defiant. And at that time, the humility sinks in and you have to realize that could be your child, that could be your daughter, your son. So you have to pull that kid aside and listen, if you choose this path, this is what's going to happen. These are real life situations.
When I first got to this church and prayed about how to do ministry here, we centered our ministry around being intentional about walking humbly and the way we teach it, about doing justice, being a part of resolving social injustice issues, recognizing that the voice of the people of faith matters. For a long time, we've had a problem with moral decline. I sincerely believe that. I believe that's one of the greatest challenges facing our community, and I believe it's one of the greatest challenges facing the faith community. When we get to a place to where our faith is no longer about our love for God or our love for others, then we've totally lost any reason for even having a faith. And with social media having such a profound effect on how we live, on how we act, on how we interact, I do believe that it has had a great impact on the faith community and society as a whole. So now we're looking for a new normal. And what will it look like? What's our role? I think our challenge is learning to worship without walls, learning to be relevant in a world that's declining tremendously, and we don't have that place to bring them to. And so if you don't really have a discipleship voice, if you don't have a personal conviction in your neighborhood, then your neighborhood is gonna fall, and gradually we see that deterioration happening.
Here at Be Strong International, we teach, equip, and help people to have and build healthy relationships. To build these healthy relationships, we first need to have healthy individuals, and that starts with them recognizing that they need to first acknowledge the trauma, those experiences that they've gone through, so that they can learn to better address it, and then learn to and self-regulate. We equip them to turn their pain and trauma into something positive. They build meaningful relationships with a healthy individual that will guide them and support them. And so Be Strong offers those mentors and facilitators to do that.
There has to be an urgency in everything we do because the students that you're fighting for can't wait. It is really difficult to help get a child off a path when they've already been given nothing. And data shows you get 10 children in first grade who can't read very well. By the end of third grade, 9 out of the 10 cannot read well. And that's not to say teachers are working as hard as they can. It is very, very difficult to catch. It's very, very difficult to catch kids up.
And we've got the same mission at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
It's building that health connection with families and young people, and making sure that these families are strong enough to then live in a very strong community, right? That advocates for change. Eventually, that's what it comes down to. You learning and coming out of this place of, I would say, ignorance somehow, not your fault all the time, right? But then getting these tools, resources, and being equipped to then change your family's life and the one next to you, right? It's not until I got to college and started partying, started getting into bad relationships, that I realized, oh my gosh, the thing that I said that I had, that goal that I had to complete high school and then go on to college, it kind of got cloudy again. Why? Because I didn't have a mentor in place. I didn't have someone saying, hey, okay, you finished high school, but now here's this next step in your life purpose. And so it wasn't until my grades started to drop, I actually ended up on academic probation, so sad, where I walked into the counselor's office. She was a Caucasian woman, I'll never forget. I don't remember her name, but she said to me, "You are beautiful and you are so smart, but you are not going to be able to go to anyone's college with these grades. I want you to know that I believe in you and I know that you can do this. You have time to turn this around." And I sat there looking at her with tears rolling down my face, because it was the first time that someone actually really sat me down and said to me, "I believe in you." And they didn't want anything from me.
For one of my challenges was my environment, where I grew up in, as far as the influence on drugs, you know, being a part of, you know, gangs and things like that. I want to sit here and say like I was just this perfect kid, but, you know, I also had a mind of my own, you know, and I also saw things that I didn't want to be like, and I think that's what kind of, you know, really helped me a lot to this day. Really one of my biggest challenges as well, you know, just going through puberty and being a teenager, a normal teenager like anybody else.
Young people needed to have a good start. And I knew that for so many that wasn't true. There was a struggle.
Mr. Dukes, he was always around the neighborhood where I grew up in. It was just one day, me and my friends, a couple of my friends I grew up with, you know, he introduced himself and told us about the program and things like that. And, you know, we became interested, and he kind of took us under his wings. Like certain weekends, he'll take time out his weekend to come pick us up. Along with his grandson, we'll go to the aquarium or a basketball game and things like that, go for lunch.
For children to have a happy life, their families have to be supported, they have to live in safe communities.
I did have a mentor. I had a mentor. I had multiple mentors, but I had one significant mentor when I was a freshman in high school. I'm a child of immigrant parents. My parents always talked about education, you know, how important it was. However, I met this young man and his father. They took me in, you know, as one of theirs, and they took me to a historically black college in Tallahassee. And I was like, wow, you know, this is what's the afterlife from high school. And it was amazing. It actually opened my eyes up and gave me that extra purpose in life. You know, again, I had positive influences in my life, but I think that was the one pivotal moment for me to allow me to become the person who I am today.
I never had that male role model in my life like that, you know, so growing up in a single parent home, so he was like, he kind of filled that right there.
Yeah,
so.
That's good, that's good. So he kind of, I guess you would say he kind of became that escape.
Yeah.
Not someone that you would definitely share all,
right,
you know,
definitely.
but just a way of escape in a time of, you know, where there was a lot going on.
Right.
That's good.
Every child I know deserves to be loved and appreciated for who each of them is.
So the pain of my parents' divorce also set me sort of into a different mindset as well, to where I realized that I didn't want the broken relationship that they had. I wanted something more. And the way that I could get to that, for my mind, would be, you know what, just get good grades, and then you'll be able to put yourself in a position to have all the things you want, because you're gonna go to college and you're gonna be that, at the time, doctor that you say you wanna be. And so one of the things that we realized too in the classroom is when we're dealing with these young folks and they're talking about their experiences and the things that they are actually saying that is a hindrance to where they're trying to go, those facilitators really actually become mentors. In the classroom, they are guiding the young people through lessons that really encourage and motivate and set them in such a way where they begin to learn their passion and purpose. We want them to focus on and really hone in on making sure that they have the emotional stamina, the emotional resilience to overcome their painful experiences. Because at the end of the day, they are all significant. They're all worthy of moving on to better things. And one bad experience, as we know, as adults, does not necessarily have to dictate the fact that you can't have a better and brighter future. And so the facilitators become those mentors to those kids.
There was a particular young lady that I was assigned to do therapy with, and she ended up naming her baby after me. Yes, which, you know, I think speaks to the power of focus. So, you know, I did not know her that well, but of course we got to know each other and her challenges, and but I was there for her. I was there to listen to her. She could feel safe telling me about her hopes and her fears, and it was a gift. It was a gift for me that she was willing to share that with me, her personal situation. I hope that I was of help to her during that time, that transition.
Sure.
Well, I started asking her, you know, who's Miss V, and, you know, started asking her questions until I started picking her up. Then I saw Miss V. Then she told me, oh, Mommy, look, that's Miss V over there. And I didn't know who was actually Miss V. I didn't know that she was the one that, she was one of the head of the program there, right? So then when I knew and I met her and I had this conversation together, I had this click. I don't know how to say it. And we started having our conversations and talking, and I saw Miss V. She was like, you know, she's great. I think this is the person that my daughter needs right now.
Easy person that knows how to listen, and a person that she doesn't care where you come from, or even if you have like a wonderful life better than hers or anything. Like if you come from somewhere very down, she would look at you as the same person she sees in her face. And she doesn't care what people tell her about certain other people that she knows are good people. And that she just helps. She just helps like if she was an angel sent from heaven.
And so I feel that young people, no matter what they're going through, they're all going through something, and especially when you're that age, you feel things so intensely. I remember very well myself being that age and how emotional a time it was. And having people that you can turn to, people that you trust, I think is everything. I think it's everything.
So I don't think it's just good. I think it's essential. I think it's absolutely necessary. And I like the word you use, partner. I believe in our communities, and I don't mean to revert, but kind of going back to one of those challenges, we have a lot of organizations, but very few that work together.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Miami-Dade has every opportunity to have a collective impact model around children and families. And then how are businesses in their own right supporting families? I think if you have those three pieces, then you're gonna see transformational change.
I wish we could have I wish it could be a mandate for all children to be a part of an organization like Be Strong or a Police Explorer.
Pero con tu amiga, you are the most, you're my best friend, you know? My best friend in the whole world. And I love you.
I love you too. I just think we have to help each child to find that thing that will help that child feel worthy and strong and excited. Excited.
That's so good, because they can be strong.
Yes, they can be strong.
That's real.
That's it.
So it's important that we all find that person, that mentor, that guide, that can help us all become that transitional character that can change the course of our lives or someone else's life forever.